people I never met gave me my blood and my name. I craved for life, but I forsook it when I became entangled in the huge thorns of eternity. I am here among you and all alone. For the left, the crucial issue of an independent presence leads to anti-rightist rallying. Poetic activity adopts a critical stance. The poet rejoins the community, but being unable to wholly dissociate himself from his former status on the fringe of society, he becomes accepted as a sui generis citizen. But to prepare your glorious presence and then degenerate into a common orator, to dumbfound the crowds with speeches, to forget your purpose, to forget your horse, to make petitions to the emperor for extra time and the secretaries turning down your application, what a come down. Greece leaves behind its painful past. American policy wields authority openly over Greek affairs. The levers of power are exclusively in the hands of the right. The formulation of new ideas is subject to an oppressive climate. People take to abandoning their villages, opting for the melting pots of Athens, Piraeus, and Thessaloniki. Private houses and gardens are razed to the ground, and in their place rise blocks of flats where people feel safe because they can maintain their anonymity. Developmental and industrialization priorities do not form part of a strategic plan. Redundant labor is absorbed by immigration, which spreads quickly and alarmingly. The part a poet is given is that of observer of social distress. Occupation, the unattainable. 1960, 1970. Greece of 2 decades. Greece is a nation that many experienced retrospectively and many more in earlier years. Political prisoners are still to be found in jails. Political life is at the mercy of parastate organizations, and for the first time, youth develops into an independent social power to reckon with. It is a period of dynamic and bloody conflicts. A period of smiles that in April 1967 changed to a dictatorial grimace. A confined society feeling cut off from the rest of the world and whose compulsory segregation allows poetry to rediscover its primeval role. The 70s generation is led almost by necessity to aesthetic activism, typical of all avant-garde artists, and continues even after the rebellion and doubt of its representatives abate as they grow older, together with a weakening of social movements. It involves poets who describe more openly social and ideological acts and the changes taking place during the decade. It is they who become aware of reality and face up to it, considering that, tragically, the ideological visions of their immediately preceding fellow artists never matured. They enter the domain of poetry as the fighting spirit of the former turns into guilt. Democracy showed the tenacity and effectiveness required for the functional order of the social whole. The 80s generation was incapable of achieving a marked individuality. It didn't have time to canalize itself into a common vision. There is no meeting of minds. It is an impersonal period, the generation of distinctive opportunities and not integral choices. The age of revolutionary expressions, the age of both the consolidation and disintegration of intellectual, political, and social privileges, the age given to spatial communication. It is the private age which seeks total restoration amid this chaos.